Be ready. Start. We shall deal with the object of the Amendment Act 1974, namely for removal of doubts, a little later. For the present, inasmuch as we have to a very large extent accepted the submission of learned counsel for the respondent that the invocation of the Amendment Act of 1974 cannot be made having regard to its subsequent emergence, namely 1/4/1976, that is, after the coming into force of Act 1976, as from 17 to 1976, we confine our consideration to the position that prevailed under the unamended Act of 1960. After all, our endeavor is only to find out whether the 1960 Act is applicable in respect of the lands held by the respondent for the purpose of its enforcement or otherwise against the respondent. One other submission of the learned senior counsel for the respondent was that the respondent was once a ruler cannot be held to be an agriculturist, inasmuch as the definition of agriculturist under section 2(3) means a person who cultivate the land personally. We were not impressed by the said submission, inasmuch as the definition of an agriculturist is not merely confined to section 2(3) alone. The said definition has to be necessarily considered along with the definition to cultivate as defined under section 2(11), as well as the expression to cultivate personally as defined under section 2(12) of the Act. Those expressions considered together make the position clear that even a person cultivating the lands by one's own labor or by any other member of one's family or under the personal supervision of oneself or any member of one's family by hired labor or by servants on wages payable in cash or kind would nonetheless fall within the four corners of the expression agriculturist. Therefore, the expression agriculturist used in the definition clause 2(3) or agriculture under section 2(1) is wide enough to include the respondent who, though was once a ruler and was not tilling the land by himself, would still fall within the definition of agriculturist when such agricultural operation, namely cultivation of land, is carried out with the support of any of his family members by supervising such operation or by engaging any labor to carry out such cultivation. We are therefore of the firm view that the bid land, the nomenclature of which was categorically admitted by the respondent and having regard to its nature and purpose for which it was put to use, would squarely fall within the definition of agriculture as defined under section 2(1) of the Act of 1960 as it originally stood, unaffected by the coming into force of the Act 1976 as well as the Amendment Act of 1974. In the result, its application to those bid lands held by the respondent cannot be thwarted. We shall now deal with the question whether the Amendment Act of 1974, which was notified as from 1/4/1976, does in any way affect the application of 1960 Act as it originally stood, having regard to the enforcement of the Amendment Act by drawing a clear distinction as between the position which was existing prior to the specified date, namely 1/4/1976, and after the said date. According to learned senior counsel for the respondent, the definition of land under section 217 after the amendment, namely after 1/4/1976, seeks to differentiate between the nature of land which would be governed by the provisions of the 1960 Act, that is, one prior to the specified date and thereafter. Under subclause 1 of section 217 of the 1960 Act, while defining the land, it is specifically mentioned that the same would mean in relation to any period prior to the specified date land which is used or capable of being used for agricultural purpose and includes the sites of farm buildings appurtenant to such land. For that purpose, when we refer to the definition of agriculture under section 2(1) of the amended act, a wider definition was brought in by including in the said definition clauses D to H, which inter alia covered the use of any land, whether or not an appanage to rice or paddy land, for the purpose of rab manure, dairy farming, poultry farming, breeding of livestock, and the cutting of wood, which class of lands were specifically excluded from the definition of agriculture prior to the amendment. The proviso to the said subclause 1 of section 2 also specifies that such inclusion in the definition of agriculture was not applicable in relation to any period prior to the specified date, namely 1/4/1976. It is contended that when the language is clear and unambiguous, one need not have to delve into the objects and reasons in order to find out its implication. Thank you.